Hi guys, welcome to the second tutorial tip for you for Foxhole. This one is going to be on base building. This video is about just over about an hour and a half long, but it does include practically everything in Foxhole currently that I can think of that you will need. So it starts off with the basics, with just like with the CV, tunnels, garrison houses, foxholes. Then it goes on to more elaborate things like, you know, why you should build kill zones, how to use a barbed wire effectively, and so on and so forth. And also, like, for instance, fortified bunkers as well. How do you build them correctly, and what's the best way to maximize and utilize space? So I definitely recommend checking this video out. Of course I would say that, but I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we'll talk about the first thing. This over here is a CV. You can only build a CV next to a town hall or a cargo ship once the cargo ship has been docked, okay? This is the backbone of your construction team, I would guess, the engineer team. This thing is the lifeblood of your defenses, because this this vehicle can construct tunnel networks and FOBs, and also repair and rebuild garrison houses alongside town halls and HQs and that kind of thing. Okay, so if all of you get inside a CV, so you have to get into the left-hand side of the CV to get into the driver's seat. Okay, if you haven't got a CV, I will quickly build one for you. All right, so to actually let's before we start moving around in the CVs, guys, to build a CV, you have to get your hammer out, and then you press the B key on your keyboard. And then it'll look like it's the second icon on the right, on the second column. And it costs 100 BMATs to make, right? And whenever you're building something, the red hologram, or the red blueprint, will indicate that you can't build there. When the blueprint turns to a yellow color, that means you can build in that area, okay? So this is the blueprint, and you're going to need BMATs to build this. So let's go check this box here. This box here has got BMATs. All right, and then you hit the blueprint with your hammer until it's completed. It'll tell you how many BMATs are required to make it. Because normally this would take 100 BMATs, but because we've sped this up for tutorial purposes, so we can quickly build up some structures and stuff. So now everybody has their own CV. Let me just make sure this has got fuel and stuff in it and BMATs. Okay, so everyone's got their CV. Come around me here. So once you're inside the CV, boys, you can to build in the CV, you have to switch over to the second passenger seat. Okay, two people can operate this, but normally one person does, and they just press the Z key on their keyboard to switch passenger seats. And this is the same for all vehicles. If you didn't know this, Z switches your seat around. Okay, right. So once you're in the construction seat, you use the right mouse button to turn the crane around, and then left mouse together to start building. Okay, but right now we haven't got any we're not building anything yet, so obviously it won't make a sound and you won't build anything. So once you want to start building something, you press B, and then what we want to build, for instance in this area, is a tunnel network, because we want to expand our influence of our defenses. Okay, so as you can see here, you have to be quite quick as well. See, someone here just put down a blueprint and it despawned. So if you don't you start constructing the blueprint quickly, there you go, you can hear the noise that it will despawn. And there you go, that's the tunnel network. Normally takes 250 BMATs to make. Now a tunnel network is this. So a tunnel network connects all your defenses up so that they can fire, so the AI can fire out of them, okay? You do not want to build a tunnel network on the middle of the road, okay? So do not build that. This is another important thing. So you always, whenever you're building stuff like this, especially like a tunnel network or whatever defense, you want to be thinking of traffic. You want to be thinking, right, if I build here, am I going to, cause inconvenience to my team? So if you build in the center of the road, that's going to stop vehicles going through and quickly go forward and backwards quickly, right? So you don't want to do that. The tunnel network that's been built right here isn't in a bad location actually, because it's off the main road, it's on the side road, and it's not blocking the other road that it's currently on. It could be built slightly better. It's like more off to the side, more further, a bit more right. But it's not a bad position per se. If anyone's got any questions, by the way, at any moment, feel free to ask me, and I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so the tunnel network itself has 39 meters from 39. You know, each tunnel network has a range of 39 meters, and that's like a 39 meters in a big circumference around it. Okay, so if you're inside a CV right now and you press B, once you're in this construction seat, you have to be in the construction seat, right, to be able to press B, because that is the construction seat. So once you've done that, then you can click on the tunnel network, right, and you'll see now you'll have it'll say meters next to the tunnel network, right, and then you'll be able to drag that. So what you want to try and do is make each tunnel be 39 meters by 39 meters. You want to max out and be most efficient, right, with your resources. So you want to try and get the tunnel network as far away as possible. So everyone follow me, because as we can see here, with the tunnel network, it tells you how far away you can build it. Here's a little trick though as well, for everybody. 1 second. You know, if you're in the driving seat, you can't press your B button to build stuff, okay? But what you can do is get into your construction seat, press B, select the tunnel network, then press Z to go back into your driving seat, and then you'll still have the blueprint selected, right? You'll have your blueprint selected in your hand, okay? Then you'll drive forward, so then we'll drive forward until up to 39 meters. So now we're up to about 39 meters with this blueprint, but now we don't want to build on the road, right? So we'll probably build all over. So the best place to build this next tunnel network is probably around about here. Roughly here, okay? Right, so this is not on the main road. Not on the main road, and it's off to the side, and it's not going to harm traffic, and that's kind of the max distance of it, okay? So, tunnel networks will turn defenses online and offline. So come over here. So you can see like the flag here is blue, right? It's a nice, clear, dark blue colour. And you'll look over here as well. Guys, come over here. Everyone come over here. You'll see over here, this building here has a flag on top of it, which is blue as well. Defences that are connected will have this flag colour. It will be nice and clear blue. If they are offline, they will be white. They will be clear white. The background of the flag will be white. That means the AI will not shoot out of them. This here is a garrison house. So garrison houses will only ever shoot out the front, out the windows, sorry, that have wooden slats on them, so wooden panels. You see that this has got wooden panels on the side, so you know that AI is going to shoot out that side. You come around to this other side, AI is going to shoot out this big long side over here. So with that in mind, whenever you're attacking a structure like this, for instance, you know where you can get shot from. So for instance, this side, if you manage to run into this house from this angle, you are likely to possibly be able to get into this house without getting taken too many shots by this house, because this window's on the far right hand side of the house, right? Does that make sense? Who's shooting over there? And what else? Let me think. So these houses, you can go up to the second floor. These houses, when they're destroyed, they will have a specific. Let's actually, if we can get this house destroyed, actually, Aquilus, could you do me a favour and see if you can destroy this house for me? Yeah. So we're going to ask him to destroy it, and we're going to. Don't drop it on me. Yeah. So watch out, and also you got to stand far away from a house. When a house explodes, even if you're next to the house, you will die. So you got to be very careful. If you're standing where I am right here, you'll be safe if the house explodes. And collapses, but hopefully Aquilus now, who's a moderator of the game and a prominent clan member, will do us a favour now and plant in a satchel charge or two and blow this house up for us, so that we can then reconstruct it and show you what it's all about. So these houses, I think, only require 120 BMATs. They're probably one of the defences. Once you take a town, these are the buildings that you want to get up first, because they are, they have 360-degree angle of fire. They are quite strong for their cost, and you can get onto the second floor. And in this game, high ground is really important. Giving you a high ground advantage is really key, because you can see for further. Okay, and also for those of you who don't know, you always want to be having your enemy in the front line towards your top left or top right hand side of your monitor. Okay, and you always want to be pointing that direction, because that's how you see and shoot people with ease. But yeah, we'll talk about specific combat and that kind of thing later on. Let's just see if Aquilus is going to do this for us. Oh, what's going on, Aquilus?
He's getting explosives.
He's just getting explosives. Okay. So over here, this is a foxhole. Someone's built a foxhole earlier. So you can see that this foxhole has got a white flag, a blue flag on it, right? So that means it's connected, right? And if it had, like I said, if it had a white flag, it would be offline. There's also another type of flag color, and that is kind of grey. Okay, a grey flag is indicating that the connection has been broken, So that and that will mean as soon as that happens, it will take 10 minutes for that defense to then become fully whited and offline. All right. So when you say wait for the defenses to go white or wait for the defenses to go offline, that's what people are talking about. Once the flag is white, it means it's safe and you can run up to it. However, people can get inside the defenses, like you can see here. There's a guy is sitting inside the defense right now and shooting out of it. So even if the defense was offline, people can still sit in it and it can still be a dangerous structure. So you still want, once it's so what you want to do once you take a town and once you see these defenses, you want to kill them as quickly as possible so enemies can't use them. Okay. So I should take a drink. So here we have Aquilus using stickies to blow this house up. Hey Jack, you right, mate?
Oh, okay, you're doing shit. Okay. I saw shots. I thought there was an enemy.
So, as you can see here, each building has a state of decay. But before you finish it off, guys, wait a second. If you go up to the clock, wait, it might blow up. Okay, it's done. It's gone completely destroyed up. But what you'll see is that you'll see states of the decay of the structure or states of damage to the structure. You'll be able to tell the damage state of it, because as you saw, it was getting more and more beaten up as the more damage was done to it. Okay, and also if you go up to the structure, you'll be able to see its health as well. So let me just shoot this friendly Foxhole here for a second. Okay. Now, if you move up to the structure, it'll tell you the repair state of it. It says use a hammer to repair 93%, and this happens to every structure in the game. And then you can, like Hayo was doing, he's got some BMATs on him, and now he's repairing the structure. So any structure that's damaged, you can repair with BMATs. Okay. Okay. So now this building is destroyed. Now let's go rebuild it. Let's go back into our CVs. Okay. Okay, so what you do is you drive up to the house. Doesn't matter which side you drive up to. Okay, once you're up to it, you want to get into the construction seat. And then what you want to do is you press the E key, the use key, right? Like so. And then you have the blueprint. And then you right and left mouse click together and you will build the structure. And because obviously it's been sped up, the build time is very quickly built up. But normally it would take quite a while. But because it only requires 120 BMATs, is still quite cost effective, because when you think about it, a Foxhole only requires 50 BMATs to build. So for the price of 2 of them in a little bit, you can get a really effective garrison house which can't be killed with small arms fire that easily. Whereas a Foxhole can be very easily killed with a couple of rifle clips. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the other aspect of a CV, which is building fobs, and we're just going to move over to a big area over to the west here. Also noticing how CVs can destroy some types of defenses. They can destroy sandbags, and so can trucks, I believe. So we'll just drive over to the other side here. So a CV is incredibly slow. One second, Jack's having some difficulty trying to navigate the bridge there.
Sorry, no, this is my bad. I'm being so greedy.
Come on, Jack. Wiggle your way out of it.
1 more month till 3 years.
Alright, let's keep going. Thank you very much, Spitfire. 3 years, dude. So much support, man. Thank you so much. If only it was that fast. Yeah, I know, right?
Fuck this world.
It's also worth noting that if you do drive off into water, you will blow up and die, so don't do that. Just want to make sure everybody's caught up. If anyone can find... okay, there's Aquilus still here. If we could just try and grab anyone else that's just joined in. Who wants to come play. Okay, so we're going to build a fob here, okay? Over here in this big space over here, right? So when you're building a fob... Actually, before we start with this instruction, I just want to make sure anyone else that is here that wants to be here. Make sure everyone's here. Make sure you're all over here, boys. We missing anyone? I don't know if we're missing anybody. Okay, guys, come over here. If you want instructions, come over here. I think we're missing a couple people. Who are we missing? Oh, Aquila's teleported him over here. Sweet. Okay, nice.
So
The fuck? Where am I?
you don't mind if I'm just like running around and doing my thing?
Well, actually, don't, because I want to try and build over here, and you'll be in the way of building. So,
Oh, well,
yeah.
no, I won't get in the way of you.
Okay, so just get out of the so in this area over here, I'm by the way, Burn Chicken. I'm doing a tutorial here, and I'm talking about how to do things. So if you don't want to be a part of this tutorial,
Fuck yeah.
then
I do want to be part of this.
all right, sweet. Then listen up and keep quiet, so I can explain and demonstrate things. Okay, so when you're building a fob, which is known as a forward operation post, I believe, or forward operation base, rather. Sorry.
Basic.
Yeah, you want to be thinking about like direction of the fob and the strategic location of the fob. So right here, we're right next to a river crossing, right? And we want to be able to make sure that we have a foothold on the other side of this river crossing. So you press your map key, you can see, you'll see where we are right on the map. We're H67, 7 on the keypad there. So building a fob over here isn't a bad location because we want to have like a forward base across the river, so it increases our spawn point distance, so people can spawn here rather back at the home base. And let me ask you guys, where would you think would be good, fobs to build? If you press the map key right now, where would you think on the map would be good fob locations? Call them out to me. So if you wanted, you would say like G57, for instance, to call out a map location. Okay. So talk to me, or type to me if you haven't got a mic. Let me hear your thoughts on why you think you should place in fob location. Where would be good fob locations at?
Anywhere next to fucking search fuel.
Sorry, what was that, mate? I can't hear you. Speak.
Search fuel. Anywhere.
What's he saying?
I'd say by G66 because you've got some resources there.
Okay, G66.
G66.
Okay, G66 is a little bit off the road. You always want to build a fob location near to a road so it can be easily supplied with trucks. Okay, the contrary to that is when you want to build a sneaky, like if you're playing with a clan group or a group of guys you know what they're doing with, you want to make a secret base or something and build it away from people. Maybe that's when you might want to build off the road, okay? Or if it's a quicker way to go to some place to attack a location, for instance. So I would say on this map, one of the good places to build a fob is probably like G67. Okay, G67 is a good place to build a fob because it's right next to the road. And it's also near the river crossing towards the key town of the Iris, right? So we want to, so our troops can cross over there, okay? Another good location might be G47, again, for the same reasons. And also maybe around H44, around there somewhere. Because that has the shirt factory, and also it has the medical. It also has the shirt factory around there and the medical factory. I think my microphone wasn't working there when I was in the map. So basically, let me just repeat that again. So
It was fine.
it was fine. You heard that, all, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay.
No,
If you didn't hear that, let me know because I think the microphone sometimes, when I'm pressing the microphone key and when you press the map, it doesn't actually, your microphone doesn't work when you're in the map. So hopefully you were listening there. And again, maybe another good location. Another good location. Thank you, Trigon. Another good another fob location might be around about maybe say D48 once we push the enemy back to their base, because then you've got the mountainside as well there. See, if you look at D47, you can see the mountainous area indicated by the grey area. So that's like a hilly thing which is impassable, right? So then you can maybe make a choke point between the road there and around the north, okay? So, right, that's enough talk about where a good place for, to build fobs. We'll actually build one now, okay? So,
But is it good to build near mountains? Because I've seen few fobs that don't blown out because people got onto the mountains.
okay, yeah, that's map dependent. Most mountains you can't get on top of. So that's a good point you've raised there. So you need to test the mountain first. Before you build in that location, try and see if you can get on the mountain first. And if you can, probably don't build the fob there. I don't think being on some mountains is probably not intended by the game developers, and they'll probably remove that in the future, just so you guys know. But yeah, that just keep that in mind when you are building close to a very high high position because your opponent might be able to use that against you. Okay. Okay. Let's now build this a fob. So when you're building a fob, God damn it, triggered. So right now I'm in the CV. So if Hayuk, you can move out the way. So when someone's trying to build, the fob is a really big structure, right? So you need to be in the CV in the construction seat. You can press B, and once you get in the CVs yourself, you can see what I'm looking at. Where has it gone? Okay, it's it's top column, second to the left. It's called an encampment. Okay. Triggered. Could you not, mate? In the moment, please, buddy. Okay, don't build that. Someone's just put down the blueprint for that fob, but it's facing the wrong way. Okay, the entrance is on the south side. So to rotate an object, once you press the right mouse button to rotate the object before you plant it. You can't plant it and then rotate it. You have to rotate it. So you press B. You click the blueprint. Then you press the right mouse button and rotate it with your mouse. And then you can plant it, but you have to plant it in a certain location. So now that's not a bad location as well to possibly build a fob. You also want to leave a little bit of space away from the road, right? You don't want to build the fob right next to the road, because if you do that, people are going to spawn into the road and possibly get run over, right? So you want to always build the fob slightly away from the road, so trucks can pull up and deliver the supplies without blocking traffic as well. So let me just quickly pop a fob down, which I'll do. 1 second. Damn it, this location here. It's not the best location. Erlas, can you move out the way, buddy? I think you're blocking the location. There you go. So this is a good spot for a fob, in my opinion, right? Okay, and there's the fob. It takes 300 BMATs to build, and this is the first version of it. Okay, it's called an encampment in the build menu, but this can be upgraded to twice more. So this is tier 1 fob. How many CVs can build at a time? 3 CVs can build at any one time, but it's really 2 is the most efficient way of doing it. Okay. It's not as efficient compared to building with hammers. I feel like even one CV on its own is, building with 2 CVs is quicker, but it's not that much quicker like compared to people like 3 guys building with a hammer. And it's the same thing with building on foot as well, with a hammer. So only 3 people build 3 people at a time building one structure. Okay, no more than that, otherwise you're wasting resources. Okay, so a fob acts as a town hall for those who don't know. You submit shirts to act as spawn points, and as you can see, you press E on it, you can see all the things that could possibly go into the fob, and you can pull them out and stuff, that kind of thing. Okay, and a fob, if you look on the left hand side of it, you can see the garrison size. Okay, so it says wait for the garrison to grow for the next level. For upgrading the structure, it's 28 out of 40 right now, and because it normally takes a very long time, you would expect this to take probably 2 to 3 or 4 hours before you can actually upgrade this. But because we're doing a speed up, it's a lot quicker. And so we'll wait now for a couple of seconds. So once it says garrison size 40 out of 40, and also that you can speed up garrison sizes with a thing called garrison supplies, which you can build at a shirt factory, I believe. And that will help speed up the building of that. But that's like late tier resource, like it's kind of end game tech resource. Okay, so now it says 40 out of 40. So if you wanted to upgrade this structure to tier 2, you get back into the CV. So garrison is getting it would get it automatically. Yeah, it would just get its garrison size slowly over time. Okay, but it would speed up with when you put in garrison supplies. So now it's tier 1. We can upgrade it to tier 2. So if I wanted to upgrade it, I just get back into the construction seat. I press E, and now this is tier 2 version. Okay. Okay, now it looks like an air raid shelter kind of thing, an air whatever. So this is tier 2 version of a fob. To level up to tier 3, we're going to need R mats, okay? And that's the last tier of fob. So, and it's also worth noting that once the higher the level of the fob, the stronger it is, and the harder it is to destroy. So a tier 1 fob can be taken out with small arms fire, like machine gun fire. This one can also again be taken out with small arms fire, but it would take a lot longer. The last fob, a tier 3 fob, looks like a fortified bunker thing, and that requires some really heavy ordnance to take care of. It's a really strong structure. So hopefully it'll be level up again in a second. It's just going to take a couple of moments. While we wait for that to go up, Before you want to build a fob location, guys, though, let's say it was like you were in a big engagement. The front line is pushing forward slowly and you're making ground, right? But before you build a new fob on that front line, you want to fortify the location, right? So before we actually build a fob, we want to make sure that we build a 360-degree perimeter around this location, okay? So everybody grab some B-mats from a CV, grab like 100 B-mats. And so what we want to do is you want to make sure, so now you know the size of a fob, right? It needs to have a big space like this to be able to build. You want to make sure that you build a foxhole structure in a kind of 360-degree perimeter, okay? So, for instance, you will want, yeah, you could do over there, but you want to make sure that it's connected, okay? It says tunnel, right? If it doesn't say tunnel, sorry, also it's worth noting that a tier 1 fob will only have 19 meters, okay? 90 meters in front of it. It will tell you the range of the fob that you can build towards, and a tier 2 fob is going to have a lot longer, and a tier 3 fob is a bigger range as well that you can build around. Okay, so yeah, like you're doing right now, you're building a foxhole perimeter. So that's what you do, is you build a nice big foxhole perimeter around the outside. Also, you see Jack is building barbed wire here. Let me talk to you about barbed wire and stuff. Okay, so defenses, foxholes, any type of defense can shoot through barbed wire. Defenses can't shoot through sandbags, okay? So now Hayo has built a sandbag right here. Don't build that, by the way, we'll talk about that later. That blueprint structure. But now, so Hayo's built this sandbag right here. And now what this means that the foxholes can no longer shoot, you know, south or north, or, you know, slightly south or north, because their line of sight has been broken, okay? So that's been worth it, you know, that's important to know. So I'm just going to crush this sandbag here for a second with this truck. 1 second. Who's locked this? Someone locked this truck?
I got a fucking wrench holder.
Yeah, if you can wrench that open for me. Yeah, so any locked vehicle you can unlock with a wrench. But if it's squad claimed, you can't take the stuff out of it, unfortunately. But we're just... Okay, so let me just dump this in here. Okay, let me just unlock it, please. I'm trying to use it. Okay, everybody out the way. So if someone's built some sandbags that you don't like and you want to destroy, get into a truck or something like this and run it over like this. You know, it's really easy and simple to do. Okay. So if you were going to try, so sandbags are a good defense that you want to build, right? But where should you build them if they're going to block your line of sight? So you want to build them at the back end of your defenses, okay? You want to be thinking about the back end. So, for instance, these two foxholes, and then building a sandbag maybe at the back end like this, like here, for instance, would be a good idea. Why is this a good idea? Because, you know, your fob's over here. Enemies aren't going to come from the east, okay? By building it further back, you're allowing more of the circumference of the foxhole to be able to shoot forward. If you build it further forward, it would have less vision to be able to shoot forward, okay? So you want to build it further back. It's also worth noting that when you build sandbags, let's just quickly demonstrate some sandbags over here for a second. Like so. So when you build sandbags, you want to make sure that your opponents can't use the sandbags against you. So how would you do that? Barbed wire. So now you get barbed wire, and I would plant the barbed wire on the opposite side of the sandbag, like so. Okay? So now my opponent can't use this cover, but I can. Okay? So I can sit behind this, because remember, you know, this cover will be directional. Okay? So my opponent can't shoot me past this. So that's what you would do. You'd build like a sandbag line like this. If you go into barbed wire, you become very slow, and you become very easy to hit. However, like we were saying earlier, these foxholes now can't shoot past this because we put sandbags in the way. Okay, so you got to be thinking about that. You know, like you need to be thinking like how much resources do I have on me at the moment, and what's the best type of defense that I can make with the limited resources that I may or may not have. Okay. So instead of building sandbags, Jack, can you run over these sandbags for me a second, please? Can you get in that truck and run these sandbags over?
Want me to destroy the fucking barbed wire too?
No, not yet. No, not yet. Thank you for the bits, guys. I appreciate it, but the time that you use these sound bites is the only time I don't want you to play them, for Christ's sake. Okay, right. So whenever you're building defenses like foxholes and stuff, you need to be thinking about the HE grenade range. Okay, so can we? Is it possible to spawn in some HE grenades here? I don't know if we can have some. If Aquinas is here. I don't know if Crazy's not here at the moment. I don't know. Okay. Well, we haven't got any HE grenades on me at the moment, but in future, grab one to test it for yourself. But just for reference, HE grenade throw range is about from here, from where I'm standing, towards the Foxhole, okay? So that's about the range of it. So if that's the range, you want to build the barbed wire around about here, around about this distance away from the Foxhole. So for instance, like this, okay? So you want to build the barbed wire circumference around this, around you know, in a perimeter around this. You also want to be able to access the sides of the fob, because some people might think, okay, let's just put an entire barbed wire ring around, but that's not a good idea. You want to leave some gaps, because you might need to quickly run out onto the front line to either to take a dude with like an indirect fire thing, for instance, a mortar or an artillery piece, right? So if they roll up with so if some guy roll up with a mortar and you've barbed wired yourself in, you're not going to be able to attack them quickly, right? So you need to be able to get access to the outside. So what you would do is build like a kind of maze towards the outside, for instance. So let me just try and demonstrate this, okay? If everybody could move out of the way for a second so you're not blocking me. Thank you. Okay. So here, my opponent, my enemy, would have to still run. You know, they would have to run the long way around. But you're going to be fine, right? Because your defenses aren't going to shoot you because they're your own defenses, right? But you could be able to get outside without taking much damage. So this is not. Yeah, this here. So have this little gap here is good. Probably not leave the gap so big. You might want to make the gap quite tight, because then your opponent can't run through it quickly. Because if the gap is tight, they have to carefully walk through it without, you know. Because if the gap wasn't tight, they could just freely run through without having to stop. But they might need to come through and be careful and walk very slowly. But this is the idea that you want to try and build. You know, you want to be able to have a gap in your barbed wire defense so you can get outside and kill people. Okay, does that all make sense? You know, has anyone got any questions about that?
Why did you make it so difficult to get the resources?
Why did I make it so difficult to get the resources?
Well,
I guess
I mean, this is just a demonstration, but I think...
Oh, yeah, so yeah, obviously, in future, you wouldn't do what I've just did here. This area is a scrapyard, right? You would not build a defensive barbed wire line through a scrap field, because then it would be very hard to mine this resource. But for, you know, imagine this wasn't here for demonstration purposes.
Gotcha.
You know, you wouldn't do that, okay? You would not build a barbed wire line like this. What you do is build this defense around the scrap field rather than in it, like I've done here. But again, there's, you know, we're just doing this for demonstration purposes for the fob over here. Now let's go back to the fob, because yeah, go ahead. What?
If you would use the fences at all? Do you use fences to create a perimeter, or do you just
Yep.
barbed wire?
Yeah, you can do that as well. It's like further tier. We'll go on to fences and stuff as well. Like, because this is like basic defense.
Okay.
So this, what we've done here is like pure basic kind of cheap defense that you can put up, you know, from the get go. Yeah, easy to set up. Anyone can do this. It's like tier, you know, the start of a war. This is what you would expect. Okay, over here now you can see this is the third stage of the fob. This is the tier 3 fob. You use a CV again to construct this, and it requires now R-mats to construct. This is very strong, and it has a better, you know, it has a better tunnel network range as well. Okay, so it's also worth noting that fobs act as a hub for tunnel networks. So once you build the fob, then you build tunnel networks out from the fob to then reconnect your supply route. Okay, so. And like I was saying, like these defenses that we've built right now are kind of like early war stuff. This is what you would build at the start of a war. But later on in the war, you know, now I will demonstrate what you do later on. Okay, so now let's say we wanted to fortify this fob location even further and make it nice and super strong. So in late stage war, you would want to build a nice walls around it. You know, a nice probably, you know, ideally a tier 3 wall, and then fortified bunkers and stuff around it. So you've got a really nice fortified location. Okay. So what I would do here. So now we'll talk about fences and gates and stuff. So you want to put the gates on the road, and fences around the outside. But you also want to have maybe a gate on the north side, on the south side, or east and west, just so you can again, like I was saying before with the barbed wire, so you can access sides of your, you know, different sides of your fob, so you can quickly run out if you need to deal with a threat from a different approach. Okay. Because if you only had a gate on your fob location on one side, you know, you wouldn't be able to quickly run out and deal with something maybe. So let's say you had a gate on this north side next to the road. Let's say some guy was mortaring you from the south. you know, it'd be hard to, you have to go all the long way around to get in when you probably should have had a gate on the south side, okay? Right. So now let's go get your hammers out, press B. The fence is the second item down from the, and it's the second icon from the left. And the fence has an arrow on it. When you bring it, everybody get the blueprint out. Don't place it now. Remember to use the right mouse button to turn it around. You see the fence here has a tunnel. It says tunnel with meters and also has an arrow. You always want the arrow pointing out. You don't want ever the arrow pointing in towards your defenses. You want it out. And why is this? Because when you upgrade the defense to have a fortified bunker onto it, the bunker would be the wrong way around if you had the arrow pointing the wrong way around, which you don't want. Okay, so we're going to put the this here. Okay, so this is a tier 1 fence. Tier 1 fences, you can shoot through tier 1 fences, and they can also be crushed by trucks and I believe CVs. Small arms fire doesn't do much damage to this at all, I believe. And normally it's like high explosive damage, which will do damage to it. So a tier 1 fence is actually quite handy in early war. You know, if it's very hard to get through and crush it with a vehicle of some description. For instance, and also it's also worth noting that you see this annoying fence over here, right? This fence here, this fence can be crushed later on by a tank, but no other vehicle apart from a tank can crush this annoying fence. Unfortunately, in this game, there is no terraforming involved yet, so there's no vehicle to get rid of these things until late game war. So you need to be thinking about this. So now, since this fence is here, I can't build another wall where I want to, or maybe a gate where I want to. So you got to bear that in mind whenever you're building, okay? So hopefully, what I would like to do is get a tank over here to crush this eventually. But let's just quickly go over to the north and figure out where we're going to build this fortified bunker. Okay, so this is a tier 1 wall. So we're going to level it up to tier 2. Upgrade. E to upgrade reinforceable. Why is this not working? E. Area obstructed. Did we not get the tech for this yet?
No, you can't be fucking loot. You need to get away. Further away, like fucking there.
Why can't I upgrade this to tier 2? Oh, there we go. Okay, now, here we go. Here's the tier. So now we built this. This is a tier 2 wall. So this takes, I believe, 6 HEs to destroy, if I'm correct. And you can shoot, and enough people can shoot this down and destroy it, but it takes a while. You know, it's still a decent defense, and it'll buy you enough time to react to an enemy if you need to, if they're trying to break through your wall. Right, we can upgrade it again to a fortress wall, which is tier 3. So if we've got anyone for a fortress wall, we need R-mats, okay? And R-mats are a different type of resource that can be mined. If you press the M on your map key, that is the bolt icon on the map. You'll see it is called components. You take the components to the scrapyard, and then you'll have R-mats. And R-mats take a lot longer to make than B-mats. So if you've got any questions about R-mats and B-mats, shout at me, let me know. I'm just going to try and find some R-mats myself. 1 second. Where's R-mats at when I need them? I got some R-mats here. It's also worth noting that if you're carrying too much, you'll be encumbered and you'll walk very slowly, okay? Also, whenever you're building, probably on the front line, you'll probably, your weapon of choice is probably going to be a revolver. Because if you had a rifle out, you'd have to put away your hammer first, okay? And then you'd have to select the rifle back into your weapon slot 1, okay? So I would recommend you to always sort of, like, maybe, if you haven't got revolvers, then have a pistol to hand and have it loaded, so you can quickly switch over to your pistol, okay? Okay, so this is a tier 3 wall. To make a fortified bunker, we need 3 walls. Three of these walls right here, okay? I'm going to try and find some space, though. Because when you're trying to build one of these, you need to make sure there's enough space in front and behind the structure so you can build this thing, okay? So let me just try and see if I can build one over here. And it also needs to be connected. You need to have it close enough, okay? Oh, and it also appears a scout car can crush a fence. Sorry, I was mistaken then. I made a mistake. A scout car, that armoured car over there, can also crush those fences, not just tanks. Oh, I was too slow. 1 second. So if you're too slow to construct something, it will despawn. So we're going to build this here. So this is, again, tier 1. And so LS has done correct there. He's built another wall to the side. So build that one up as well. Why does this keep saying constructed by player? Why does it keep saying that? I'm not sure why it says that. Never used to say that. Okay, there we go. And now, what you don't want to do, if I just was in the middle here and tried to build the bunker, it won't work. Whenever you're trying to build a fortified bunker, you need to be to the side over here, where I am, by the side of it, and then you press E. And then there we go, the fortified bunker's there. You can see how big this thing is, right? So you need to make sure that you haven't got anything in front of it that will block it from being built. So you need to be thinking about that. You can also garrison this thing and shoot out from it. It has a 180-degree firing arc, which is really cool. And it's a very tough defense. It takes a lot to destroy this. It's not an easy thing to destroy. So this is like late tier defense that you want down. This bunker does not kill tanks though. It does. The only thing that kills tanks, that's good at that, is a gun turret, and that also requires RMATs. Okay, so you get the idea here, right? So what you'd like is like a fortified ring of this defense all the way around the fob, and a gate on the north and south side, like I said earlier, so you can easily go run north or run south wherever wherever the threat is at. Okay, so you've got an easy time to react. So now we probably would build a gate over here, so we can access the south side of the base. And again, you'd want to make sure there's no gaps in your defense. You always want to build the defenses close up to the wall, okay? So this is a tier 1 gate. A tier 1 gate is easy destroyed. This one's a tier 2 gate, which just takes a lot more to destroy. There you go. And you always want, the gates are directional as well. It has an arrow on it. We won't see the arrow if you try and put the blueprint over high ground, but if you put it on low ground, like flat ground, you'll be able to see the arrow. And you always want the arrow pointing outwards, because you can see, as you can see, we have the warden symbol on the front of the gate there. Okay, it doesn't matter which side it really is facing, but for aesthetic purposes, it does look cool to have it, the right way around. Okay, so now this is a problem over here, right? So now a lot of you will encounter this when you're playing and trying to build defenses and stuff like this. You'll find areas of where you want to build inaccessible, or you can't build because, like for instance, we can't build on this rock formation over here. Okay, so we need to try and build this defense around this to try and avoid this. Okay, so we'll probably want to build out. You could do that, like Burned is probably put there. That could be possible, but I would rather build outwards here towards the river, so we ourselves can get onto the high ground of those rocks. Because if you build like that, you wouldn't be able to get on top of that. Okay. Okay. Now, also the terrain here. If I just plant this over here, you see here the terrain. Half this wall is like sunken into the earth, which is not good, as you can see. Obviously, this is probably a technical fault with the devs that they will eventually maybe fix. But if this is the case, you need to make sure that the wall's leveled up and high. Because once you keep leveling the wall up, it'll get higher and higher. That's also worth noting. So we'll try and level this wall up here if we can. It keeps saying it's obstructed. There we go. So you can see it got higher. And as long as it's high enough for not people to run over and jump over, it should be fine. Okay. Let's try and get another wall over here. And I mean, the enemy could potentially swim across this and get around, which is very, very likely. So in this instance, you'd have to make sure you have some defenses pointing towards the river, so enemies couldn't do this. If enemies are swimming around in the river, they can't fire back and stuff, right? So they're incredibly vulnerable. So right there, putting a pillbox facing that way is an excellent idea. Okay, absolutely amazing, because the enemy are going to run around there. They're not going to be able to see the pillbox until it's too late and get killed. Because remember, they can only see what they can't see through certain structures. Okay. Now I build this up, you can't see it, right? We can't see that pillbox. Once it's fully constructed, we won't be able to see it even ourselves. You can only see it from a certain direction. Okay. So you always want to be thinking about the weaknesses of your defense line, like this, for instance. In difficult locations, you need to be thinking, right? My opponent could, you always be thinking that, like, if I was, you need to put yourself in your enemy's shoes. Okay. If I was an enemy, how would I attack my own base? And you'd think, oh, I'd probably jump around here around the river, right? So then you'd probably build like foxholes at either side of the riverbank, making sure your opponent couldn't jump through and jump around. Because once they started swimming across, they'll start to get shot, and then they'll die if you've got enough defenses there. This pillbox that they built here is not facing the right way. We'll talk about pillboxes as well. Okay, so pillboxes, I believe, only have, what is it, a 90? No, not is it 80 or 70 degree firing angle? They only can fire in front of themselves, I believe. A guy inside of it though can shoot for a lot bigger angle, but remember, pillbox in general can only shoot out their front, right? They can only shoot in front of themselves. Okay, so if I was going to put a pillbox here, right? Like so. I could, an enemy could easily flank this, come around the side and shoot it out and destroy this, okay? So, pillboxes are only really useful in choke points, in areas where your opponent can't flank. So in this instance, you would probably want to build gun nests, because they're a defense that can be 360 degrees. It's also worth noting here, this is a tier 1 defense, this is a tier 1 bunker, and the tier 2 bunker is the version over here. Both only require BMATs to make. So if you've only got BMATs to hand, maybe building pillbox, loads of pillboxes would be better than just building a load of foxholes. As long as you can have, is it RMATs now? I'm pretty sure it was BMATs, wasn't it? It's BMATs. It is BMATs. Airless, it's BMATs. It is BMATs. I'm pretty sure it's BMATs to upgrade a pillbox.
Yeah, it is BMATs.
So, okay, let's talk about gun nest. Right, this is a gun nest over here. Oh, this is a foxhole. This is a foxhole. Okay, so foxhole, as we said earlier, it has a 360-degree perimeter around it. You can shoot out of it. We can get inside it. So, also, it's also worth noting that if you're under attack by enemies, jump. Quickly press Q to jump into the structure, regardless of what you're carrying. That's the first thing you do. If you become under attack while you're building, jump into the defense. Okay, or jump into the nearest defense before probably doing anything else. Okay, so this is a foxhole requires 50 BMATs to build and 50 RMATs to upgrade to a gun nest. Now, a gun nest, the difference between a foxhole and a gun nest is that a gun nest is a lot stronger. It can't be killed by small arms fire. I mean, it can, but it'll take a ridiculous amount. Whereas a foxhole can easily be destroyed by like 2 clips of a rifle, for instance. So a gun nest also, it fires a lot faster. It's kind of more of a bit more of a machine gun compared to a standard foxhole. It fires a lot faster. Pillbox are machine guns. They will quickly kill people when they come into their firing range. Whereas a gun nest is more of like a fast-firing carbine or something like that. Okay, which will fire quite quickly. The gun nest also lobs grenades. It's the only structure to do so, which is quite good. So you need to watch out for these structures lobbing grenades towards opponents. Okay, and also it's 360 degrees. It's quite, these structures are probably the most cost-effective defense structure and best defense structure in the game because they're quick to build. And you can spam quite a lot of them, and they're quite cheap in terms of BMATs and RMATs. Okay. Yeah, they throw frag grenades. It's also worth noting that they throw frag grenades, not anything else. They don't throw any other type of grenade apart from frags. Okay. They don't throw gas grenades. They don't throw anything like HEs. So a tank wouldn't have no problem in taking this out. Okay. Okay. Next defense we're going to talk about is the gun turret, okay? Right, this bad boy. Now, the gun turret is very slow to turn, okay? So you always want to make sure it's pointing towards where the enemy is going to come from, right? So the enemy is probably going to come from the west here, okay? That one that Mailman's put down is probably not too great. You want it maybe more turned to the northwest. The same thing with the one I built here. I probably should have pointed it more towards the west, okay? Because that's where the enemy's going to come from. It's also worth noting that, these defences, these gun turrets can quite easily be taken out by tanks. It takes 2 shots from a tank to take one of these things out, okay? And if you've got 2 tanks working in really good coordination with each other, a gun turret is no problem. They can easily kill it in one go. So you need to be thinking about that as well. We'll get onto the round of pillbox in a second. Wait a minute, we're still onto the gun turret. So building a gun turret, you need to be planting these along your defence line. But also, you want to be planting hidden ones as well. These are the ones that good players get catched out by. Noobs are going to get killed by the ones on the front, but good players are going to get catched out by the ones that are hidden. Okay? So what I'm talking about, the ones that are hidden are the ones that are going to be behind walls and stuff that people are not expecting. So let's go to the front, where we hopefully have a gate now. We don't actually, but we'll go to the front.
Hey,
Yo,
I brought you something.
why did you bring me?
I wanted to check the fob. I brought you a little explosive you were wondering about.
Oh yeah, the HE grenade, yeah. Alright, everybody grab a HE grenade, as like we were showing you earlier. Everyone just grab one, just for demonstration purposes. Don't throw this. Just have it in your inventory, so so we can show you what I was talking about earlier. Thank you very much, Jack, for doing that. Appreciate it. Okay, so before we finish off the gun turret discussion, we'll just quickly go over to the HE grenade range thing. So now if you get your HE grenade out and you press right mouse click, you can see and then drag it, you can see the range of how far you can throw it. So whenever so if you're going to try and build the foxholes and defensive lines, that learn, after you play a while, you'll learn the range off by heart, right? But if you're not sure about it, grab one grenade out for yourself and just see, and then walk back towards, like, say you wanted to build a foxhole over there, you want to see how far away you can lob this grenade. So right now, I could probably lob the grenade from about here, right? So I want to build wire exactly where I'm standing, okay? Can you just destroy wire with grenades? You can destroy barbed wire with grenades and frag grenades, but it takes a lot and it's not cost effective. You don't want to be wasting that. You want to be using a wrench.
It's better to destroy it with a fucking wrench.
Yeah, it's easy very quickly to get rid of barbed wire with wrenches and stuff, okay? But in a firefight situation, you can't wrench something down. Jack has just lobbed a frag grenade, a rifle frag grenade. These are a lot. You can fire these from a lot longer range, but you haven't got to really worry about them because they didn't do that much damage to defense structures. The HE grenades are the ones you want to worry about.
Yeah. If you put frags on a foxhole, you're going to waste a whole lot of frags. They're better to take out groups of enemies repairing stuff, which is what I do. And with the grenade launcher, you can launch it like super far and sometimes across gates and stuff. You can bounce it around.
We'll talk about combat. That's a combat. Today's we're talking about building and stuff, so we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, that's something we'll talk about later. But it takes 3 HEs as seen here, 3 HEs to destroy a foxhole, and 6 for a gun nest. Okay, just so you all know. And if you're going to a sort of defensive location like this, especially if it's got barbed wire, you'd want to smoke first and then wait for 3 or 4 seconds and then rush up and then HE. But we'll talk about that because that's combat. But I kind of wanted to slightly discuss that because when you're trying to, you need to be wary of these things if you're building defenses. Of the ways people will different ways people will use and tactics employ against you. So you're ready to deal with it if they try and do it against you. So let's say someone does to try and smoke forward, so the the defenses won't shoot at him, right? Because he's using the smoke cover. If they're doing that, you just want to be spraying down with the smoke through the smoke with a HMG or something, because they're going to be probably running through the smoke to try and take out your defenses with HEs. Okay, so if you see that, jump into a foxhole, get a HMG out, and start shredding them, just shredding through the smoke, and you'll probably kill them as they try and run through. Okay, let's go back over here. Okay, can we move this truck out the way, backwards, please? And can someone get rid of this barbed wire in the way over here? Someone with a wrench can get rid of this barbed wire here for me, please.
This one?
Yes, please. That one, yeah. Jack, if you could just park your truck somewhere else, out the way. I'm going to be doing stuff over here. Thank you. Okay, so let's just, what we'll do is we'll probably have we'll have our gate here. Burn chicken if you can get out of the way. Okay, so this will be this is like the main gate, right? So people would be using this out. So this is like going to be so the enemy is going to come from the west, right? Because that's their main way into our main base. Okay. So what you'd want to do here is you'd level this gate up, right? And you'd want to be putting a cheeky anti-tank defense thing right behind this, right? So what you would do is you'd get an anti-tank gun, okay? And you'd plant it, for instance. Hey, move out of the way, please. Move out of the way, guys. Move out of the way. Just stand behind me. You'd want to build it like here, okay? So this is a nice trick to do, because the enemy are not going to see this, because this is close to this wall. They're not going to be able to see behind this, okay? So what will happen? Maybe an enemy might run up their vehicle, right up to the gate, thinking it's safe, and then you just lower the gate, and the anti-tank gun would go ham on them and shoot them, okay? And they'd get surprised by it because they wouldn't see the gun until the gate was down, okay? So that's a nice little trick that you can do against enemies. Another trick is just to put defenses behind ways you expect them to come, okay? Like here, right? So the enemy, will most likely destroy the gate first, because it's the easiest thing to destroy compared to this fortified wall. So once the gate is destroyed, they'll drive through, and then they'll get surprised by this gun turret hidden behind the wall, okay? So you want to be building defenses hidden behind like wall locations like this, okay? So these are like your back defenses, your kind of your last resort kind of defenses in the front. Sorry, in the back, right? But what you'd really want to do is have you'd want the gun turrets out on the front line as well, So you'd want to be at this foxhole. You would want a great level up to tier. Wait, E. I've got to repair this 1 second. So it's also worth noting, a damaged structure cannot be upgraded. You have to repair it fully before upgrading. So we'll just level this up. It's also worth noting that gun turrets can also shoot over gun nests and pillboxes, okay? So let me just quickly put one down. Like this, like so, okay? So you see the gun turret is on the over the top of this. And so, you know, it's not going to be blocked by the gun nest. So if the tank that comes forward is going to get shot by this if it comes from the front, okay? However, it is also worth noting that putting defenses so close to each other is maybe not a great idea. Because one mortar strike or one artillery strike will hit both defenses, okay? Rather than just one. So you want to get them spread out. You can see Thallow over here building a gun turret hidden in a bush. So this is another really nice little trick. An enemy is not going to see this until too late. Even like now, he's built the structure, we can't see it, right? So an enemy is going to drive up here and then get shot at and not even realise that's there. So that's another good thing. So like building defences, even whatever you want to put there, foxholes, gun nests, gun turrets, putting these in behind, you know, in bushes and things that, you know, and reeds and stuff that you can't see in is a very good idea if you're trying to like fortify an area, okay? Because they can't easily be seen and spotted by enemies, and the structures will shoot them.
New bush meta.
So yeah. So let me just do another demonstration here. So I have a pillbox here, for instance. Wait, actually, don't build that. I'm not gonna be able to build a gun turret behind that now. Yeah. So if you don't like your blueprint, just stop building it. Right. So I have like maybe another gun turret here. Right, and then you can have a pillbox in front of it.
You have great road access too.
Like so. However, if you do this, what I've just done, especially with pillboxes, you can't really get inside the pillbox easy. Yeah, you won't be able to access the inside of a pillbox. I don't think. If you try and get out of it, can you? Oh, you can actually. Oh, my bad. I think before in the past, what if I level this up to tier 3? So it's tier 2. Let me just test that. Alright, try again, Jack. See if you can get in that and see if you guys can get out different sides of that. Try and press Q to see if you can get out. Can you get out?
I'm in here right now. I can fire.
Try and get out of it though. That's my question. Yeah, I want to see if you can get out. Okay, you can. Okay, so that's not a problem. So you can get in and out of the defense structure whenever you want. Normally, in the past, you could only access the pillboxes from behind, I believe. Now you can get into it whatever side you want to, which is great. Okay,
that's a recent change.
That's a recent change they've done it. Okay, so. But yeah, like I said,
forward, I think.
Yeah, and again, like I said earlier, pillboxes can only shoot forward. Okay, so anything else to discuss? Oh, we're rounded pillboxes. We haven't talked about rounded pillboxes. Okay, let's go to this one. So now, rounded pillboxes are a really good defense to plant if you're being mortared or artillery. They're using a lot of indirect fire because this defense does not take. I don't think it takes hardly any damage, or maybe even no damage at all, once it's down. Okay. Let me just try and build one to demonstrate. Okay, so this is what a rounded pillbox looks like. We're across 80 refined materials to build. They're across refined materials only, and you cannot upgrade this, okay? This is just a one-time structure, okay? So, as you can see, it's down at the moment. If an enemy was to come nearby, the defense would pop up, it would shoot the enemy. Once the enemy is killed or run off and it can no longer see the enemy, it will hide, it will duck back down. In this state, this defense is almost invulnerable to enemy fire, okay? So it's a really good structure to plant on frontline combat in choke points. It's probably better to plant one of these than a pillbox because infantry have a really hard time of dealing with it, okay? The way to kill this is to flank it, okay? What you would do as an attacking player is to come around the side, bait it up. So one person would go around and bait it up. An infantryman who is quite quickly, they would run up, bait it up, and then run around the outside so that the defense couldn't shoot them. And then once it's up, somebody would, or a tank, or a guy with an RPG, or guys with HEs would then lob grenades once it's been raised. Okay, if the defense is offline, it will automatically be raised up. I believe there's currently in the game a bug where the defense will still be down even though it's offline. That is a bug in the game, and that it should, you know, in the code it's up, but it might visually appear like it's down. Okay. Can you destroy it with a satchel if it's down? I don't believe so.
You can crouch to hide behind it, apparently.
Aquilus, you're an experienced player. Have you got any words of advice or anything I've forgotten here about the rounded pillbox to add? Is it a satchel can? Yeah, when it's under panic, it takes full damage.
Yeah, you can hide. You just have to crouch behind it and you disappear. You go invisible.
My name is Houdini.
Okay.
Interesting because you can like hide behind it and then get up and shoot.
Okay, so
Hope you.
yeah, so that's the general meat of the defenses that are, you know, and the instruction and basic stuff of the defenses that I've talked about today. Anything? Oh, you got tank traps as well. So tank traps again, like with barbed wire, you probably want to do the same thing with barbed wire like you do with the tank traps. Sorry, the same thing with tank traps like you do with barbed wire. You don't want to put the tank traps on the main road, if you know because you'll be harming your own traffic, right? If you do that, okay, you don't want to be putting them on the main road. Let's for instance say that you were on the map called Deeplaw. Sorry, so the map called Upper Heartlands, and you were in the city of Deeplaw. For us, Deeplaw is a town. It's the last city that we need in Upper Heartlands to control to win the war. For instance, okay, you would probably want to block off the roads to the town from the south because that's the way the enemy are going to come from. But you don't want to block off the roads to the north. So if you've got a town that you want to defend from, you know, that you've got access to from one location, and easy, you know, safe and easy to use and get transport in, that's great. But you always want to make sure one road is easily accessible for your forces to go in and out, okay? Also, you probably don't want to be putting tank traps that close to each other. You want to be spreading them out to get best coverage of them. And also, we'll talk about towers in a second. Don't build that right there because that's in a bad location, okay? It's right next to the main road. Okay, so what you want to be doing with tank traps if you can afford it? I mean, like, this is it. Like, I would say building tank traps is probably like the ultimate form of base defense in the form like you would do. This is the last thing you would do if you had nothing else left to do to fortify your build. Like, if you've got excess resources and you wanted to keep fortifying further, you'd do tank traps, okay? But really, you probably wanted to spend that armats on like upgrading gun lists and upgrading stuff. But if you had the extra resources and you wanted to do so, you'd do something like this, okay? You'd want to, you know, you want the you know, a tank trap like this, and then another one like in a triangle shape. You want to make sure no vehicles can pass through this, but big enough so you're maximizing space. So like this, you know. Okay, so then you would build a perimeter around your outside of your base that would look like this, okay? You know, infantry can run through it, but tanks can't, okay? And that's what you want. So the tanks can't get close enough to start shooting down your defenses, okay? So that's kind of what you would like to do eventually. But you know, each tank trap only requires 20 armats, but armats are expensive and quite hard to come by. You know, unless your logi is godlike, right? But it probably won't be. Let's also talk about bunker walls, and we've already gone through bunker walls, but we want to try and maximize the use of bunker walls, okay? So let's say you didn't have much space in your where you were building, okay? Let's come over here, guys, to somewhere there's more space. Okay, it's big enough space here, I think. Okay, so what you can do is you can build a C structure for a fortified wall. So, right next to our old base, it was where we were just at, we built a fortified bunker, right? But it's not the best type of defense. So the best type of defense is probably something like, okay, let's just do. Okay, so we've got a wall over here. So this is going to be the outer perimeter as we already have here. Okay, and we would want one over here. So I upgrade that to tier 3 for me, boys. Okay, out of the way, guys. Burn, can you move out of the way? Yep, cheers. Okay, 1 second. And you would want to build a wall like this, okay? And so we upgrade this to tier 3 as well. Upgrade that to tier 3. this works. I'm wondering, I'm hoping it'll hit it. Okay, now we should be able to build, because the wall over here on the left, this is always quite finicky. Sometimes you might get it right, sometimes you might not get it right. But for the most part, try and keep the walls close, and hopefully we should be able to upgrade this wall now to a fortified bunker, right? Because 2 walls connect this, right? Because you've got the 2 walls to the right that are connecting this up. So this is the way you can get as many fortified bunkers on your outer perimeter compared to the other way. So now, for instance, if we wanted to build another fortified bunker, right, you know, so next door to it, what we would do is do the same thing that we've done here. So we would build another wall like in a C shape. Let me just try and get this right, like so here. We just try and keep leveling these up. This works. Come on.
Move a step aside so that you can upgrade.
Okay, and now we can upgrade this middle one over here again, I believe. Like so. There. And that way we can have 2 fortified bunkers right next to each other on our outer perimeter by doing this. If we just used one outer perimeter wall, we would have to build a fortified bunker every other fortified wall. But by doing this, we can have a fortified bunker next to a fortified bunker, and it's beautiful, right? So you can have this is a really solid defense front line. So you'd have this kind of defense on like a, you know, like a good border choke point kind of thing, you know, or like, you know, on your main front line kind of thing, or like, you know, on a really good defensible location. Take for instance Callahan's Passage, Scats Passing. This kind of fortified defense would be perfect there. Okay, because it's kind of a nice kind of corridor that you could be able to do this, and you know, you can have 2 fortified bunkers next to each other. So that looks very nice, very easy to access. It's also worth noting in this C section, you could probably build a tower here, or you could build, and this is where you would build the tunnel network. Okay, you'd build a tunnel network here or a tower here, because this, you know, it's very unlikely that the enemy are going to destroy the fortified bunker. They could, it's definitely possible. But because this structure is one of the strongest structures in the game, that's probably the best place to build your tower. So let's build a tower here, where I'm standing. Let's just move out the way a second so we can make some space for it. So this is a tower. So for those of you who don't know what a tower is, you know, if you're doing logistics and if you're building, you would want to have a radio on you at all times. And you know, especially if you're building, and especially if you're logistics compared to a frontline player, because you know you need to be constantly keep a track of enemy movement, right? You need to be, you know, figuring out where they're coming from, where the front line's at, where enemies are coming from. So a tower, you want to be building this structure all the way along. So to be able to see this structure, we need a radio. So unfortunately, I haven't got a radio myself at the moment. Let's see if we can go back to the fob over here to grab a radio to talk about what it is. Let's see if we can grab one. We just put these B-mats away and stuff. Also, like as Airless is putting, yeah, this is not a bad place to build boxes either, right? Round here, on this side here. So you might want to store, for instance, RPGs in boxes like here, because you know people might want to. You know, actually, those other guys have run away for a second. I probably want to talk. Yeah, let me just talk to those guys actually, because they ran away. They probably can't hear me. All right, do we have a radio over here? No. 1 second. We've got no radios. Okay. Where's Jack? Can I ask Jack to quickly go make some radios for us? Is Jack nearby? Also, as soon as Erlas is doing this again, like we were saying earlier, guys, with the with the gun turret being down, you can do the same thing with pillboxes and gun nests. You can have the same. It's always advisable to put some defenses behind a gate like this, but not enough to block the way through. You always want to be able to make enough space so a truck and a tank can get through. But you know, it doesn't. You know, you don't need to be. You can build on the road slightly like this, because we built kind of on the road here, but it's not the main part of the road, so still vehicles can go through this. Okay, so this is good type of defense. Okay, and having tiered defenses like this, having maybe 2 sections, 2 types of defense, you know, 2 gates, is just going to make the defense a lot stronger. Okay. So you can imagine, for instance, right? This is quite a nice idea. The enemy. Yeah, Jack, can you make me some radios and put them into the fob for me, please?
Sure thing.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. So imagine like you bait the enemy in, right? So let's say, oh, the enemy are outside. Let's open this bait door. They drive through into this area, which is like free, and then suddenly we open up all these 3 gates, and our defenses just go ham and destroy them all that have come through this little like ambush point. You know, imagine that. That'd be that's a really cool idea, right? You could probably put both of these 2 gates down at the same time, and both gun turrets open up immediately, immobilizing a tank. Okay. Because a gun turret can fire twice. Where, sorry, for every shot a tank can fire, a gun turret can fire twice, I believe, okay? And if both of these are firing, both of these get like 3 rounds off, that tank is going to be disabled, okay? So this is a nice little idea. And also putting barbed wire down so the enemy can't quickly run in and run through these bushes and hide, that kind of thing. So this is actually a really good idea as well. I haven't actually thought about this myself, actually putting a C-section like this. But Erlas here is, I think, Erlas, you built this, right? Yeah, it's a very good idea. So it's a really cool, an idea. If you've got space to build, do something like this. It'd be a very cool idea. However, you need good coordination with your teammates. If your teammates are not in on this and don't know how this works, they might just raise only 1 gate down, and then the plan might fall apart. So you'd have to make sure everybody is in the area is clued in. Okay. Right. Hopefully, we'll have some radios in a second, and we'll talk about. Actually, are we all here? Did we miss someone? I think we missed some people. Okay. What's the server? There's no server password. You can join in, guys. I'm pretty much almost done now with this. Tell them the 80 turrets east down the road can't fire. East down the road. Which one? These ones. These ones should be able to fire over the defences. I've seen these gun turrets fire over defences before. You sure they can't fire? I'm pretty sure I've seen defences fire. They work. I'm pretty sure they work. We'll have to get someone to spawn in a tank here and see if these will shoot. No, they're too close. Build. The AI of the turret inside is inside. The defences up front. Well, I guess we should test it and just double check. But I would imagine it would work. Oh, we could. Oh, howitzers as well. Yeah. I just want to make sure. I think we're missing a couple of people. Kemp's here. Kemp's new. What's up, dude? Welcome on in. I think you missed most of this this talk, Kemp. But if you want to go watch it back on, I'll be uploading it to YouTube and stuff. If you want to go check that out. I think it'll help you out. I'm just trying to wait to see if anyone. I think most people have just disappeared somewhere. I don't know where they've gone. But we haven't finished just yet. I wanted to talk about howitzer kits and stuff as well. Please teach people not. Oh yeah, so yeah, for you guys right here, never ever put B-mats and R-mats into a fob or a town hall. What you want to do is make a box, or if there's not a box, make a box, but just put all the B-mats and R-mats into a box next to the town hall. Why is that shooting over there? Alright guys, are we all here? Guys, crowd on me, crowd on me. I want to make sure you're all here and listening and not running away. Okay, alright, on me. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, before some of you might not have heard this, so you always want to put boxes near, and possibly, near like a fortified bunker like this, and make sure they're probably equipped with a couple of RPGs and like RPG shells, because you can then take that RPG, get inside the fortified bunker, and shoot enemy tanks down with it, okay, or enemy vehicles. So then you become a handheld anti-tank guy, tank destroyer guy, okay. So that's kind of an idea. If you want to make sure the defense line is fortified, do that. So people, and then. People, as soon as you get under attack, the defenders of the location are then ready to quickly just run over here, check a box, grab what they need, and jump into the defense to hold it, and hold the area. So that's a good idea if you wanted to keep the area, so you had people ready to deal with enemies and stuff, that kind of thing. Okay, Right, okay, howitzer kits. Howitzer kits, sorry, were the other thing that CVs can build. I forgot, sorry. CVs can also build howitzer kits. You can't build them with your hand. Howitzer kits, look, let me just double check. I've actually never used a howitzer myself, I don't think, like, properly. So I might not be the best person to explain these, but I believe the best place to build them is probably near the front line, so like over here. So then you can use them to counter enemy artillery, use them to counter enemy tanks. Or, I mean, howitzers are more like killing infantry. They're good for killing enemy, I think, defenses as well. The field artillery unit is the best thing for killing tanks and weapons and stuff. But yeah, you use a howitzer to bombard enemy infantry that are coming and attacking you, and you probably would plant it in a big open space like this so people can easily build. And you probably want to make sure it's again got a crate nearby, possibly filled with tank shells, or not too far away from the fob either, so that you can go over to the fob and use you know, you grab the tank, the artillery, the howitzer shells out quickly. And its range is 150 meters. Okay, hopefully Heyo can now pop down a howitzer kit. Hopefully we don't need a blueprint for this. Does it say we need a blueprint? I don't think we need blueprints anymore for howitzer kits. Right mouse, left mouse click. There you go. Okay, so first things first, you want to make sure the howitzer, when you build it, is probably pointing towards the enemy, okay? Because you I mean, we can rotate it on the spot, which is great, but if you make sure you build, you know, if you build it towards the enemy first, then you haven't got to rotate it around, really, because it takes quite a while to rotate it all the way around, as you can see, okay? So make sure that whenever you're building it, try and build it towards where you're going to be firing, okay? But yeah, there you go, the howitzer's up, and this is long range, and, but yeah, this is a good defense for, you know, to counter enemy infantry, but it's not an automatic defense. You have to, you know, a good team needs to be on this. Artillery in general is quite, you know, using field artillery, maybe a howitzer, is probably one of the most challenging things in this game. So we'll have a separate maybe tutorial on that later. But yeah, you need a couple of guys helping. You need a guy on the gun to fire it and change the azimuth, and you need a guy with binoculars like myself to spot enemy targets, and then you call in the distance and azimuth and that kind of thing. Okay, but yeah, you know, we'll talk about that later on in another video or whatever, another thingy. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for the moment, unless I've forgotten anything. Oh, if you look on the map, you can see other structures the CV can build, which is a fort and an observation tower. Oh, it can't fire. So I believe an enemy is inside that tank right now, but he's, you know, helping demonstrate something. Yeah, and I think he's demonstrating that this turret can't actually fire on enemy defenses. So that's my bad. I apologize, guys. I thought it could, so I think he's going to try again. Yeah, you can see this turret can't see actually. So there you go. Okay, so don't do what I've done.
An AT turret, no, actually, but an AT turret can only fire over a light pillbox, or or if it's slightly raised, a full.
Slightly raised.
It has to be on a slightly higher terrain.
Okay. So it's a kind of, yeah, this one, yeah. So this one over here did not fire because it's too close. It was blocked by the pillbox, so it's my bad. So don't do that in future. Like, you know, it would work with a tier 1 pillbox like Canary has just said, and also on a high, like on a mountain, like, or on a hillside. If it's higher up than the pillbox, it will work. Okay, as long as it has a big, you know, you can see over it. I mean, it looks like it can see over it at the moment, right? So I thought it should fire, but it doesn't actually. But good thing we tested it just to make sure, so you guys all know that. Okay, myth busted. There you go. Good thing we're actually myth busting that. Okay, and also I would say if you're building defenses, that corpse then. If you're building defenses, guys, and you're off-road, it's probably best to use a utility jeep. Rather than a truck, because a utility jeep is a lot faster, and a utility jeep can carry quite a lot inside it. So if you're going to be building off-road, which is very likely, then yes, try and use a utility jeep to quickly ferry around your own resource and that kind of thing. Why am I bloody? But yeah, I think, let me just, I can't think of anything else. Have I forgotten anything, chat? I'm just going to ask Twitch chat right now, see if I've forgotten anything.
We got the radios.
Oh, we got oh yeah, the radios. Oh yeah, the radios. Okay. Right, let's go back to the fob and let's everybody grab a radio. So we can quickly go over radios and stuff quickly.
I'm getting more than radio, so yeah.
Everybody grab one radio each and then equip it. It only works if you equip the item. We have a fort. Nice, okay.
Especially as logistic.
Yeah, me as well.
Okay, so we'll talk about fortresses and observation towers. These are new things that have been added to the game in the last couple of patches. Okay, a fort is also a fob. It acts as the same thing as a fob, right? It's the same kind of... it can't be upgraded. It's just like an old world structure. It has less range than a fob, but it's still quite... It's quite a cheap thing to construct as well. I think it needs R-mats. Yeah, but it can also be a HQ as well. Is it 50 B-mats ready for a fort?
How many?
Oh god, damn. 50.
Oh,
okay, so I believe the forts are probably one of the things that you want to probably conquer really quickly, because unlike a fob, it can also act as a HQ, as Stanks has just said in chat. But they have low health. They probably can be killed semi-low. I mean, they're going to be stronger than a tier 1 and a tier 2 fob, I think, but definitely worse than a tier 3 fob, and probably worse than a tier 2 town hall. Okay. Also, you can see on the map right now, at G59, there's an observation tower. So, I don't know if Aquilas is here, and could do me a favour and teleport a CV over there quickly to save us some time. But we'll just, we could just drive one over. Okay, let's just talk about, since we all got a radio on us now, press the map button, right? So, you can see at the fob itself acts as a tower radio signal as well. So it has a circumference around it, okay? And also the tower we built over here, come with me. Let's wait for everybody. Where's everybody gone? Guys, over here. Over here, boys. The tower over here, also, this is the one we built, and that's the main thing. And if you look on the map, it looks like a diamond, a kind of a diamond. It says, you can see on the map intel, it tells you what it is as a structure. And defenses have a kind of a hexagon shape kind of thing, right? And the tower, I believe, let me just double check, it costs pentagon. Sorry, I'm not very good with shapes. It's a pentagon shape, not a hexagon. And it's 60 B-mats for a watchtower, okay? You want watchtowers all over your front line. If there is no radio coverage over a certain area, consider that enemy territory, okay? Just consider it automatically enemy territory, especially if you're logistics. Make sure to avoid that, okay? So only go that way. Say if you've got a full truckload of resources, don't go down through that way unless you've got radio coverage and unless you've got a radio on you. If you haven't got a radio on you and you're doing logistics, you shouldn't be doing logistics, okay? If you die and you haven't got a radio on you, it's your own fault. You always need to make sure that whenever you're driving around, or like say if you're building defenses around here with your car, always get in the habit of like every 10 seconds, just pop on the map quickly, just scan the map and see. Right now, you can see that there are some enemies located at G51, right? Because we have our towers in range of that, okay? So we know that enemies are over there. So make sure that whenever you're you're traveling around, you've got yourself you've got yourself a radio, and you're always checking the map, okay? So to spot for enemies, because the worst thing you don't want to happen is when you're building to suddenly get killed by someone because you weren't checking around. So whenever you're building or whatever you're doing, really, generally it's a good idea to have a radio on you. If you're on the front line and you're just you're going to possibly die quite often, probably not a good idea to take a full radio, a gas mask, and a lot of gear and a binocular, because you're going to be a frontline soldier and that's going to be wasted. But if you're going to be on the back line, or building, and you want to make sure that you're not going to get rushed or anything like that, make sure you've got a radio, and so forth. We've also just taken control of the observation tower, I believe, in the north. Now the observation tower acts like a normal tower, right? But it has an incredible range. This map's actually quite small, but now we can see. You can see the range of that observation tower if you scroll your map out. You can see compared to a standard tower, right? So they're incredibly important to capture. They can't be built in the form like a tower can. They're like static world structures that can be built, but you can't just manually build them wherever you like. Okay, it's going to be there and it can never be moved. It's something you can build, and only certain few maps have these on them. Okay, but it's very important to try and have control of this because it's quite difficult to destroy as well. Like a standard tower like this can easily be killed with a couple of clips of whatever you've got in your gun, right? But a big observation tower takes quite a lot more to destroy. Okay. Yeah, it takes like a tank or artillery to try and quickly kill that down. So definitely try and build that. But again, like I say, with that big observation tower at G5, 9 can only be built with a CV. Okay. And have I missed anything else, chat? Sorry, I'm looking at chat now. Have I missed anything else that has to be raised and slightly behind the pillbox? Let them know. Yes, that fobs. Fobs. And yeah, it's not just a tier 3 fob as well, guys. A tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 fob acts as a has radio coverage around it, and also town halls have radio coverage as well. And I think cargo ships, right? This structure over here. Yeah, deployed cargo ships. Cargo ships that have been deployed and now act as a fob. Cargo ships that are in transport will not act as a radio tower. So this here is a barracks. This can also act as a spawn point, but it's quite cheap to build, and it's very easy to destroy with small arms fire. It's like a mini fob, yeah, but you can't store weaponry in it. It's it purely acts as a spawn point and maybe a little bit of storage. Okay. It doesn't also, it's because of its size and its color. It might be a good idea to build this maybe in some high foliage area with lots of trees and bushes, and you might be able to use it to like a secret little mini base for your for a group of your guys. But generally, you don't want to be you'd rather build a fob than this. Okay. The flag is a dead giveaway, Stanks just said in chat, but if you plant this in some trees, the trees will cover the flag if the trees are taller enough, so you won't easily be spotted. Especially in a map like Umbra Wildwood. Right? Because if you've ever played on Umbra Wildwood, you'll know that has a ton of trees on, right? It's got a ridiculous ton of trees on. So that map is really easy to plant like sneaky towers around because it's because they're quite small. They are tall, but because the trees are really tall, they can easily be hidden amongst the huge amount of forests that are there and trees that are there. Okay, so that's just a little bit of advice there for you. Okay, so what else now? I think I'm just trying to think of anything else I've forgotten, guys. I don't think I have. Hopefully I've covered everything for basic building. I mean, okay, just follow me for a second. We've talked about tunnels earlier. Let me just see here. So you can see all these defences here are connected. But yeah, we covered tunnels at the start. And if you missed tunnels, if you missed that whole talk about tunnels, guys, just go back on the VOD on my Twitch channel or the YouTube video of this that I will upload later on if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, just briefly go over tunnels again. If you have missed it and just want to hear it again. Tunnels act as the lifeblood of your defences. You need to build tunnels with a CV to connect all your defences up. Defences that are connected, that will shoot out, the AI will shoot out from them, will have blue flags on them. For us, as the Wardens, as Colonials, it will be green. And defences that are offline will just be white flagged, and that will mean that they are offline, and that means the AI won't shoot out of them. However, that does mean enemies can still get into those defences. Apart from the rounded pillbox, you can't get inside a rounded pillbox. And you can't get inside a gun turret. You can get inside pillboxes, gun nests, foxholes, and fortified bunkers. And garrison houses. But yeah. Oh god, my voice, I'm losing my voice. Alright, let's just come over here 1 second. Over here, guys.
What's happening?
So
I'm ready for war.
So what we would want to do here for further fortifying this front line is you probably want a gun. Let me just get a couple of bit of B mats just quickly. Just find some B mats and some stuff. There's a truck when I need one. Come on. Actually, let's roll this up. I love being able to take down gates now. Alright, let me just go over here. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you guys what I think a good defensive, like let's say if we wanted to improve the defenses of this, in front of this fortified bunker, right? So let me ask you guys now, so after all the stuff I've told you today, what would you now do to try and further fortify this front area up? Give me some suggestions here. What does it lack? What can enemies do? Talk to me. Or type to me. Oh, actually, before you do, come over here. You can see this is the demonstration of a white defense. So the enemies, the colonials, have just built this defense over here earlier, and you can see these defenses are offline, right? You can see with the white flags above them, right? You always need to make sure, you know, because you might encounter your own defenses that might be offline. Before you start shooting a defense down and destroying it, make sure to check the flag, okay? You can tell that this is an enemy defense because the flag has a fist with a knife in it, and that is the colonial flag symbol. Okay, so you know this is an enemy structure. Okay, right. And you can see the enemy tower over here is green. This one over here, the tower is green. Towers don't need to be connected, to be honest. To tell you the truth, towers are the only defense structure that can be built anywhere and they'll still be activated. They don't. They don't. It's just defenses that shoot. This is just a tower that just provides intel. Okay, so okay, back over here, guys. Back over to where I was a moment ago. I came for a lecture, not to be asked questions. Well, I want to see people learn anything, you know. Okay, so did you guys have any ideas of why I mentioned earlier? Any ideas, boy? I mean, if you don't want to say anything, it's fine. You don't have to, but it's just like, you know, if you want to talk.
A bunch of foxholes.
A bunch of foxholes. Yeah, a bunch of foxholes would be a good idea, you know, so that could be a second, you know, like a first line defense, some foxholes at the front. Putting barbed wire down is good. Yes, very nice. So the enemy have to take longer to get closer towards it. That's very nice. Again, you know, you want to make sure, again, you get the HE grenade out that you had earlier, and then you can see, like, for instance, here is the closest I can lob the HE grenade, so having wire back here is perfect. So this wire right here is a really good space of wire. Having, you know, probably putting, for instance, having, let me try this one second. Can't see this. Having a gun turret here on either side of this fortified bunker would be a good idea. Like so.
Shark on OP.
And again here. So now you've got anti-tank defenses on the front line as well, because remember the fortified bunkers can only shoot, only really effective against infantry, whereas the anti-tank defenses are good against obviously all types of vehicles. So then, and in front of this, you'd always, and then you'd probably build like stuff like, more foxholes, just more type of typical defense, and then you would upgrade these foxholes to gun nests. Can anti-tank shoot have sandbags? I believe that's a good question, Corporal. That's a very good question. I believe so. I think that is correct. And I think that's a very good idea to actually do that, because when a tank tries to shoot the anti-tank turret, it will most likely shoot the sandbag before shooting the anti-tank defense. So it'll soak up a tank shell, for instance. It's also noting that the pillbox, the fortified bunker pillbox will be able to shoot at anything in its range, even if there's a pillbox in front of it. Okay, it'll be able to shoot. It has, it has a good height. Yeah, if they, but yeah, they could still potentially, it means they could still potentially hit the anti-tank turret with the sandbag being there, but they might miss. Okay. So yeah, you just want to build more lines of defenses. Then you build the barbed wire maze like we built earlier, like I went through earlier around on this side. You also got to be thinking, guys, you want to keep building your defenses so far out that your opponent cannot possibly bombard your fob. Actually, this is really important. Let me try and get everybody here to talk about this 1 second, because this is really important. Guys, where's everybody at? Come here. I'm talking about. I've got one more. I've got one more important thing to talk about, guys. I've got one more important thing to talk about before I forget. Okay, come round. Okay, so the last important thing is that you want to make sure that your defensive line around the fob or the town hall is expanded enough so that the enemy cannot possibly take out the fob or the town hall with artillery. Okay, so a field artillery piece and a gun and a howitzer, I believe, I think it's 150 meters, right? So if you have your defenses at least 150 meters out, you built your defenses all the way out with tunnel networks out to that. That's a very good defensive line, because if they take down the fob and you've not got your tunnel network connected all the way back to a town hall, for instance, or another fob, then all the defenses will go offline. Okay? And it's also very important to say backup CVs as well, like Stank says, so you can rebuild the fob if it goes down. And make sure they're kind of hidden and not in an easy place to spot, because a good enemy player or a good opponent will try and blow that CV up so that you can't rebuild the fob or the town hall, for instance. And what else? I'm trying to think of anything else. What else do I need to talk about, chat? I forgot. I can't remember. I'm just trying to think of anything else.
Don't you dare abuse him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and backup fobs. Always make sure you've got a backup fob as well. So like if it's like the key front line, it's such a key location that you need to hold. Building a backup fob is incredibly important, because if the first fob goes down, at least all the fences will stay online, and people can reset their spawns at the backup fob, so that they can go again. Because if the fob dies and that was the only spawn point, everybody that had set their spawn there is going to respawn at the HQ of that map, right? And that could be really far away. And if that happens, that could lead to entire collapse of the front line, which is huge, because there'll be no men left to respawn at the front line because the fob's down to combat the enemy from pushing forward. So that's why it's incredibly important to have a backup fob or a near another point to reinforce by. Spacing is I think we also talked about spacing earlier. Don't make sure that you've got defenses separated. Okay, you haven't got defenses too close to each other, because if they like I said earlier, if they're too close to each other and artillery falls or more falls on them, it hit both defenses rather than just the one. So make sure they're spaced out, so enemy artillery can only, or enemy tank can only do only attack one defense at a time rather than get more lucky and hit more than one. Okay. Oh, right then. What's up, Happy?
Put your hands up or you get sued.
Yes, thanks. Go ahead. If you think I've missed anything over, because I've been doing. I think you joined halfway through, so you might have thought I missed something, but I've gone over a lot. But go ahead. Beware of stop by depletion. That's not really on defense, but I guess. How would you break into a defense? Okay, that's a good point, actually. So, yeah, that's about you have to. Yeah, so we talked about that earlier, actually. So you always, whenever you're building something, you always want to be thinking about, if I was an enemy, what's the easiest way to break into it? Okay, so what you would do before you started building defenses, you would get binoculars out if you had some to hand, or if not, you just run around and check the area. But you'd get your binoculars out and you and you look around the defensive area and see the weakest spot. So even once you've done completing your defensive line, keep doing it. Keep getting your binoculars out and thinking, right, where is the weakest spot to attack from? If I was an enemy, what would I do? So if I was an enemy right now and looking at my defensive line, I would see, okay, I can see their fob, but then I see on the southeast side there's no defenses. So that's where I would attack from, right? So you always want to make sure that you're thinking, you always put yourself in the shoes of your enemy, and you'll be a good builder if you do that. Always put yourself in the shoes of the enemy and figure out, if you were an attacker, where would the easiest place to attack is from, and then that location would be where you need to build up more, right? Is this game worth getting into if I'm playing solo? If you're a solo player, you can definitely join in, mate. You'll be more than. Sorry, shut my door. It's getting a bit chilly, actually. If you're a solo player, you're more than welcome to play and make. Like you can. If you don't want to, if you're telling, Are you solo on choice? Do you just want to play solo and not play with anybody, or are you saying you're solo and you don't and you just don't have any friends to play with? Is that what you're saying? Because you can if you want to be a solo player and just do things on your own, you're more than welcome to do that. You can just do logi and bring up stuff to the front and that kind of thing and build on your own. And as long as you're not hurting or making stuff that is annoying to people, like building in the middle of the road or anything like that. As long as you're building defenses in a fairly decent way, it's gonna be good. No friends want to play. Okay. Yeah, you're more than welcome, dude, to play with me and my group when I play and stuff, and I'll help teach you the ropes and stuff. And it is very easy to get friends. The community is generally very, very, very friendly, and if just ask people for advice. I think not enough people ask questions; they just do things without asking. I feel like if you just asked, most people would be happy to ask you, because a lot of the problem with this game is people just doing stuff, and then the whole idea of, because some people might find this community somewhat toxic in the regard that, noobs get shouted at when they do things wrong. But to be honest, the noobs should ask ask questions before they try to do, because like if you did something and you did it wrong, why didn't you ask in the first place? It just makes sense to ask somebody, right? Like before building something here, maybe ask a guy who's got a higher rank than you. Is this a good place to build it? Or you could ask like, hey, I'm new in driving this tank here. Can you give me some advice? I think plenty of people would be more than happy to help you, but most new people just don't do that, which is very frustrating for people, veterans of the game. But yeah, so I guess that's the end of it. So yeah, guys, I guess that's the end of it. So I was just talking on stream. Then thank you very much for taking part. I hope you found this this kind of tutorial masterclass insightful. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to ever come join and play with me and my group, you're more than welcome to. I'm currently streaming this game on my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/helpinghands. And if you missed any of this and you want to check it online and watch it on YouTube, you're more than welcome to do so. I will be uploading this video tomorrow, I believe.
Right. Thanks.
Buddy speaking in his door. What do you mean? I was speaking in my normal voice. What do you mean my normal? I was not speaking in my normal voice. Oh, you were very loud, mister. Well, I felt like I need to be. I was trying to talk to people, and because I felt like I needed to be loud in game, because people are always telling me in game that I'm very quiet, so I felt like I needed to be loud in game. But now I'm talking to you guys, and it's not a big thing. Alright, line up, boys. Everybody line up opposite me. Or don't. Alright, boys. You are all dismissed. He just stabbed them. And also, guys, thank you very much for not griefing. I don't think anyone here was griefing when I went through the whole thing, so I really appreciate that, because last time a load of people were griefing. But I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I probably might actually stop. I mean, I think I might go onto the main war now and jump onto the and actually start fighting on the main war.
Ooh, you're gonna stay on Warden?
Of course.
Well, wherever you go, I'll be your logistics, man. I'm gonna be your logistics. Just tell me where we're going.
We'll see. I don't know yet. I'll have a think. But yeah, I'll be on Discord. So also being on Discord is a very good thing as well, or TeamSpeak or whatever. You still use that because my Discord. Yeah, to get my Discord, just type an !Discord on my Twitch channel for the link. And I say Discords are very important, even if you're not normally someone to go on Discord, because you can only talk to people who you're nearby, right? If you're on Discord, you can talk to people who are on different maps and on different battlefields and stuff. And it's a very good idea to, it's a very good way to keep communication and figure out where the supplies are needed and that kind of thing. And also, it's a good idea. I know this is a bit of a sellout speech here, but it's a good idea to have my stream open, because then you know exactly where I am and what I'm doing, and then you know where maybe what I might need, or what might be needed to the front line, that kind of thing. But yeah, enemies, even enemies like to have my stream open a lot of the time. Look at it, happy. Because they like to cheat. Yeah, that's the problem. People do cheat. If a lot of colonials do like watching the channel because they want to see the strategies and see where people are building up and that kind of thing, and the weaknesses and stuff. It's lame. I don't recommend people ever to do that. It's cheating. It's not fair. Don't ghost, stream cheating or stream ghosting. Don't ever do that if you guys can help it. It's not cool. You don't need that. It's important to know what hands to use at all times. It's unnecessary. Yeah, it's totally unnecessary. You shouldn't need to cheat and stuff, that kind of thing. Like, you know. Like, because you're getting information you would otherwise would not have gotten. You know, that kind of thing, right? So if you would have gotten information you would otherwise would not have gotten, that is literally the definition of cheating. Alright, I think I'm going to go onto the main world now, and I'll see where I want to go. I don't know where I'm going to go yet, I'll have a look. But yeah, just send me a message in World Team or something, and you'll figure out where I am.